Okay, so I'm going to go over these answers. I'm going to do it pretty quickly since I don't want this video to be forever. Question 1. In humans, big B is the allele for brown eyes. Little b is the allele for blue eyes. Two brothers both have brown eyes. One of them has the big B and little b allele, and the other has only big B alleles. Which statement is true about the brothers? They have the same genotype and phenotype. Genotype is letters. Phenotype is physical. Same letters. No. Different phenotypes. Physical? No. Same phenotype, brown, brown. Same, nope. Different genotype. These are different. Okay. Question 2. Many ranchers prefer cattle without horns. The presence or absence of horns is genetically determined. The allele for the absence of horns is dominant. For the presence, it's dominant to the allele for the presence of horns. A male with horns is mated with a heterozygous female without horns. What percentage of the offspring is expected to have horns? Whole bunch of words. There's a plant. Flowers can be white or purple. The plant with white flowers is crossed with a plant with purple flowers. All the offspring are purple. Based on the results of the cross, which of the following statements is most likely describes the alleles for the flower color in Jimson wheat? The allele for purple flowers is recessive. No. The allele for purple flowers is dominant. Yes. Fruit flies have hair-like bristles on the backside of their bodies. They can be long or short. The flies with short bristles are two little s's, which means that a capital S would be long. A fruit fly that is heterozygous is crossed with a fruit fly with short bristles. The cross produces 220 offspring. Okay. How many of the offspring are expected to have short bristles? About 50%. 50% of 120 is 110. Okay. A dog gives birth to 5 puppies. What percent of the chromosomes does each puppy share with the mother? Half. 50%. Okay, so this one, the 2 dominant ones are normal. The 2 recessive ones are greatly elevated. And the heterozygous is a blend between the 2. So that's incomplete dominance. This question is talking about 2 fruit flies. It says 2 fruit flies are crossed with each other. The female offspring of the fruit flies will receive which pair of chromosomes? So one from mom and one from dad, and it's female, so it's XX. So the answer is A. These are both mom, so that's why it's wrong. Male, male. That's why those two are wrong. Question 8. We just don't have the time, so do it. Question 9 is C. When you cross two heterozygotes, you end up with all 3 colors. So I'm going to cross it like way over here because I don't have space. So sorry. RCW. So these are, this one is red, this one is pink, this one is pink, and this one is white, which is all 3 colors. Hate this question. The answer is B. It's a dominant trait. So whenever you cross 2 things, it says based on the results of the cross, going backwards. Among the offspring, most of the mice have black agouti coats, and the rest of the mice have non-agouti coats. After 2 mice with the black coats are crossed. So if you cross 2, and most of them show up with a trait, that trait is dominant. 11. It says based on the information in the table, what describes capital IA and capital IB? They're both capital, so they're both dominant. Codominance is when they're both dominant. The answer is D. In mussels, the allele for brown coloring is dominant, and the allele for blue coloring is recessive. Which of the following parental genotypes are 100% of the offspring? For which of these is 100% of the offspring expected to be blue? So if you have 2 little b's, you had to get 2 little b's from the parents. So these 2 are out because it doesn't have any little b's. And then this is possible, but it's only 25%, and we're looking for 100%. So the answer is C. 13. The answer is C. Just is. Sorry. I wanted y'all to skip that one. 14. In tomato plants, a tall vine is dominant, too short. 2 tomato plants are crossed. Among the offspring, 45% are tall and 55% are short. What are the most likely genotypes of the parents? If I cross these, they're all tall because they end up like this. If I cross these, they're also all tall. These are all short. If I cross these, it's about 50-50. So I can test it to see. So 50% tall and 50% short. These are just predictions, so real life is pretty close to what was predicted. Female cattle that have white coats are crossed with male cattle that have red coats. Both male and female offspring have roan coats, which are coats with both red and white hairs. So if it's both, it's codominant. So the answer is B. Sorry, I'm trying to hurry up. This is codominant, so it's both. So we're looking for this trait and this trait together. The answer is C. It says a plain spider is crossed with a patterned spider. The patterned spider, which is this one, is homozygous, which is the same. And the pattern allele is dominant to the plain one, which means this one's recessive. I'm going to pick a letter. I'm picking A. So it says it's homozygous and dominant, which means that this one is the recessive one. And so it says what percent of the offspring are expected to be patterned, which means that it has to have a dominant A somewhere. I'm going to cross them. That will be all of them. All the boxes have a capital A inside. Humans may have type O, type A, type B, or type AB blood. This blood type is the trait determined by multiple alleles. So this is an allele, this is an allele, and this is an allele for blood type. There are 3 of them, so it's multiple alleles. A karyotype is a picture of chromosomes, and it says a karyotype would be least helpful in determining what? If I'm looking at a picture of chromosomes, I can tell if one of them is missing. I can tell if there's more than one X. I can tell if there's an extra copy of the 21st one, which is Down syndrome. What I cannot tell is if the Y chromosome is carrying a recessive gene. I can barely see the Y chromosome, so the answer is C. What is photographed to create a karyotype? Chromosomes, we just said that. The number of chromosomes can be studied by looking at a karyotype. Which of the following methods can easily identify a person with an XYY chromosome? The answer is karyotype. In humans, the allele for straight thumbs is dominant to the allele for bent thumbs. A pedigree showing the inheritance of thumb type is shown below. Straight thumb is colored in, and bent thumb is not colored. What are the genotypes of individuals 4 and 5? So 4 is straight thumb, so we know that there is at least one big T in there somewhere. And 5 is bent thumb, which is recessive, so they're both little T's. So I'm going to look. This one's out because it's not 2 little T's, and this one's out because there's no big T in the front. And then we look at the offspring, and these are both little T's. And they had to get 2 little T's, one from their dad and one from their mom, which means that this one is big T, little t. So the answer is B. Woo! We're almost finished. 24. The inheritance of short wings in Drosophila fruit flies is an X-linked recessive trait, which would most likely result if short-winged female, short wing is recessive. So short-winged female would be X, put a little h, X, little h. Mates with a long-winged male, so he's normal. Okay, so I'm going to cross it. So both females are carriers. And then, oh, sorry guys. The males are affected. So all offspring will be short-winged, that's a no. All the females will be long-winged and all the males will be short-winged, that's true. All females will be short-winged, so no. All of the males and females will be short-winged and half will be... What? Half of the males and females will be short-winged and half will be long-winged. No. So all females long-winged carriers and males short-winged. Okay. 25. 2 parents, one with blue eyes and one with brown eyes, have 5 children. Some of the children have blue eyes and some have brown eyes, as shown in the diagram below. Pedigree. Why don't all the children have the same eye color? C. Eye color is determined by a combination of both parents, so they get traits from either parent, and so it's a mix. I think YouTube's gonna make me cut this, but color blindness is a sex-linked trait that is carried on the X chromosome. If a boy is born colorblind, what is true? It's that his mother carried the gene for color blindness. 27. The answer is C. 28. The answer is D. 29. The answer is A. Okay. If you want to know why for both of these, text me because I'm pretty sure this video is going to cut off.